Hey, Ife,
What's up, Shannon?
we should do a podcast.
Ooh, let's do it.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Ife. And this is Like a Mug podcast.
Where we talk about the extraness of life.
Because there's always something extra going on. Ain't that right?
Girl, you got to say extra with a K.
Oh, that's right. Always extra.
Yes. Welcome to the first Like a Mug podcast. Woo! We are so excited to be here, and we're excited for you to join in our world. And today we're feeling fresh like a mug because this is a fresh show and kind of toxic like a mug.
Now, Shannon, can you be both fresh and toxic like a mug? It just seems like those two don't go together. I don't know.
I'll just say that if I exist, then you can.
Oh, that was deep.
Because listen, I have my days when I'm like, yeah, I'm fresh, but I'm also a little bit toxic. And, we're going to share with y'all what we mean by all the way toxic. So I know y'all are wondering, who are these two toxic girls that just came over here talking to us? I promised you it's not just that. Let us explain to you who we are so that you know whose lovely voices you're listening to. And you're about to be our best friends. Watch.
Yes. So I will go ahead and jump this thing off. And my name is Ife. It's a lot longer than that, but we'll just stick it with Ife for now. Last name is Okumabwa. As you can tell by my name, I am of Nigerian descent. If those of you guys who've grown up with Nigerians, whoop whoop. My dad was actually from Nigeria. My mother, however, was from Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm like a Southern Nigerian. I was born in Nigeria, moved to Memphis when all the corruption started happening. And then we migrated to the ATL, and I've been here so long. I know that I'm an honorary peach. I have attended middle school and high school and college and grad school and all of that great stuff, school here. I went to Tri-Cities High School, the bestest performing arts high school. It's the LaGuardia of the South, pretty much. I mean, all of the greats graduated from Tri-Cities.
If anybody knows someone that went to Tri-Cities High School, you'll hear that literal same sentence.
Because it's true. It's true. So yeah, I started off as a young talented actress, and I joined a theater company at that time. So the theater teacher at Tri-Cities was a wonderful man by the name of Freddie Hendricks, and he was a founder of the Freddie Hendricks Youth Ensemble of Atlanta, now called the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. It is still the South's premier youth African-American theater company. That was a mouthful. That it's birthed greats like, people that are on Broadway now, and folks that are on television and SNL and all of that. It's real old school. It reminds you of New York folks, really grungy, just raw, we're in not an abandoned warehouse, but we're in a school gym. It's hot, and we're sweating, and we're dancing across the floor for our lives, and it's real old school. But because of it, that type of foundation, it just birthed stars. And so and that's also kind of where I learned how to become a musical theater songwriter, which is what I do. I'm very passionate about it, and a theater producer. And it's also where I just learned how to just dream and be myself and love myself and feel like I could do anything, and also arts administration. So, and then I had the pleasure of working for YA for about 6 years. And during that time, when I was working for YA, that is when I met the lovely Shannon Bird Cross.
Lee. Bird Crossley. Actually, I wasn't Crossley at the time. But yeah, I was Shannon Bird Crossley. Yeah, so that's how we met, and YEA is how we are connected. Fun fact, Freddie Hendrix was like a while I was growing up, he was like an uncle to me because my parents and he were in the same theater company, Jamandi Productions here in Atlanta. So that's a fun fact. So I was always around YEA growing up. And I would see Ife, but I didn't know her. So it's just funny how we connected later on. And yeah, so now we get to be cool like a mug with you guys. So now Ife, you told us how amazing you are. I know you're a little bit toxic.
Like to identify the toxic traits because I'm a child of the 80s and we just kind of like let them stay within us and fester and just live within
Right.
us and never let the toxicity, out. But
Absolutely.
I will say that I am a little bit, I got some toxic traits. One of my toxic traits is I like exist in a world of like CP and African time. So CP time is like color people time, and then African time. So CP time is like 30 minutes, and then African time is like 2 hours late. So I just never know when I'm going to show up, and I really try to fight it. But the bad thing is I'm one of those people that if you call me and you're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm in the car, around the corner. And I'm really like just turning on the shower to get into
Oh no.
terrible. I am terrible. Round the corner literally means another hour for me. Like it's code word for another hour. So some of y'all, I'm sure, live within that space of CP time and African time. So
Yeah, man, you have two things working against you.
yeah,
Good luck. You're gonna be late to your wedding, funeral, everything.
just late. But I'm good with it. I
Yeah.
made peace. So,
Yeah, yeah. You're pretty good. When we work together, you're not too late.
I'm not. And I really think it's like it might be things that I really don't want to do. It's a whole mind trip. We don't have this podcast is not about my therapy session of why I like to, be late
Yeah,
and wait
yeah.
to the last minute. So we're just gonna not talk about it. We're just gonna do the 1980s thing and I'm just gonna hold it in and not talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
which is
if the
another toxic
80s,
trait. Right.
that's another toxic trait is that I was born in the 80s. Yeah, like the 80s, it was such like, I guess because it was a booming time.
Yeah.
And there was like money and people having sex and AIDS came out, but we're gonna brush it under the rug. We are the children of that.
Right.
Oh, what does that say about us? It's okay, great. So everyone you know about Ife now you need to know about me. I am Shannon Bird, Shannon Bird Crossley, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And I've been involved in theater my whole life. As I said earlier, my parents were professional actors while I was growing up. Now they so that's been my life. I grew up saying I want to be I don't want to do theater because I want to make money. So I majored in psychology, and now I'm a performer. So go go figure. I write sketch comedy, and I am a performer. I'm leaning more towards comedy, kind of dipping my toe in stand-up comedy and things like that. So it's fun. Also, I am a teacher, mom of two, wife of one. So I all that to say I'm stressed. So if anyone is a nanny that would want to do it for free and you're not crazy, call me. So now toxic trait. My toxic trait is that, I say I'm a teacher and all this stuff, and I should be more particular about my time and what I do, but I tend to get lazy, and so lazy that when I text, I'm too lazy to use my thumbs because I use speech to text. Like I will speech text you a whole paragraph. But then the lame thing is that I always have to go back and like correct like at least half. And then even then I don't correct the whole thing, and then I have to go back and do it. It's just, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's hard for me to not speech to text. It's hard, like a whole argument. Like I'm like, well, you should have known that I was at rewind, like delete at the place. I'm just like, you have Shannon just text. So a little bit toxic, but I'm working through that.
I don't know. I just started recently doing that. Was it the text, talk to text, and it
Mm-hmm.
just never works for me. It always, I don't know if it's my southern accent or something like that. I don't know, but it never recognizes the word. So it's like more work. I'm like, oh, I should have
Mm-hmm.
just gone ahead and text this, in the first place. So
So the answer is yes. It's your accent. It's your black scent. But you
wow.
know what? I'm not gonna say black. I'm not gonna say black scent. It's your accent because a friend of ours, Ty, who used to be in YEA with us,
Oh yeah, time.
um gave me the cheat code about those. She was saying if you speak like a valley girl, then it will really recognize everything you say. And I tried it and I am never wrong when I speak into it like this. Even when I use colloquialisms like bitch, you tripping, it gets the whole thing. Even if I say tripping, it'll understand that. But like if you think about where it comes from, Apple is in what, like the Bay Area or San Francisco or whatever. So the people out there, like that's the voices. So this is how we
Wow.
talk. Yeah. So that's how you get Siri to always understand you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will definitely try that. What about the that's so interesting. You said Valley Girl, but people think
Mm-hmm.
of like the Kardashian sound now. Like that is the
Literally
new
that.
sound.
Oh my gosh. Would you guys listen to this podcast if we talk like this the whole time?
I
I
would.
sound rich. I feel rich all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden, my butt just grew. Like I just feel rich. Maybe I need to talk like that and manifest what goes along with that
Yes,
voice.
manifest. You
Yes.
know what Siri and Alexa will not do? They will not say the N word. And I know this because I've
Mm.
tried it. I've tried it. I've tried to say it with a friendly term of endearment, light, was it AH in word? And I've
Mm-hmm.
I've used the hard ER in word, and she will be like, I'll say, Alexa, what does N word mean in the dictionary? And she'll be like, I'm not understanding what you're saying. I'm like,
You
you know
better
what I
not
just said.
understand. No, but it's like, you know what? She better not understand because we all know Alexa and Siri are both white women. Um, they cannot understand. Like, that's right. You better not
Right.
know what we said. Oh.
I'm like, Alexa, N word, please. I know you know what I'm talking about.
N
Please.
is a letter of the alphabet.
Right.
Word is a letter.
I was
Yeah,
like, okay.
no. She's like, you're not messing me up. Yeah.
Right. No lawsuits for Google or Apple. So
Absolutely.
good, good.
Absolutely.
You won. You passed the test. Google and Apple, you passed the test.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now that you all know about who we are, where we be, all this good stuff, the background, we're family now. We cousin like a mug. And guess what? That means you are one of the cool kids. Hooray. Wait, okay. I didn't mean cool kids. I meant you're one of the other cool kids. Now, trust me, you'll want to be one of the other cool kids when we explain to you what that is. Like Ife and I are both the other cool kids, right?
Yes. Yes,
Mm-hmm,
absolutely.
mm-hmm,
Like I would definitely say everybody knew who I was in
mm-hmm.
high school, but was I invited to all of the coolest parties? No. But after high school, I would
Mm-hmm.
say a lot of the cool guys hit me up like, hey, I was always digging you. I always thought you were really like powerful and like, I thought you were deep like Lauryn Hill. I was like, really? So that
Uh,
made me another cool kid
and other
because
cool
what I'm
kid.
saying, they were like checking me out in class. I did not know. I did not know. But it
Yeah,
happened. A couple of guys hit me up afterwards.
that latent attraction is like, are you really serious? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Like that, I mean, like, yes, it's cool being the other cool kid, but like that telling me later stuff like, just so you know, I really had a shrine to you in my room, just like it was in Hey Arnold. Like, what? You loved me. I was really in love with you every day. I hope that you came to me. I'm like, no, I reject that. I reject it because now it doesn't matter. We're both adults. If we both show up to Pizza Hut together, it'll be like, oh, what's up? Hey, it finally happened. No, it doesn't count. But that's what happens to the other cool kids, right?
It does.
The other
yeah.
cool kids, let's say you're at a party and you see somebody like jamming in the middle of the floor, and it's like, oh, go. They're doing the worm. They dabbing, they're doing all these cool moves. And everyone's circled around this person. There's somebody that's like right next to them, like, kill it. They may even be telling them, do the next step. That's the other cool kid.
Oh, wow. I would say the other cool kid, that same party, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's dancing, everybody's drinking and having a good time. But what's that you hear outside? Oh my goodness, there's some like guys forming a cipher, and all of a sudden there's a rap battle, and you're like, what? I didn't know Dwayne was a battle rapper. That would be considered another cool kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they're ciphering outside. They're not really in the inside, but they're still, you know, they're creating a whole nother situation on the outside. They're
creating, and they all wear like army fatigue, but it's cool because they all put paint on it. So, right. And to be more specific, guys, the other cool kids are the artsy kids, the fashionable kids, the culture creators. And, you know, while they're not always understood at first, they are understood later, which I feel a way about that because, you know, the whole, man, I thought you were cool. You should have told me while it mattered while I was in high school. But the other cool kids are I'll say we create the cultures and do all of the good things. Now, I'm sorry, I need to bring you to task because the other cool kids do not normally get privileges of the cool kids. I have reason to believe that you were on the homecoming court.
I was, but Shannon, because of my othering, I did not win said homecoming court. It's really still, even though I'm way past high school, it's still a very sore subject when I talk about it. Because I am highly competitive, and
I'm sorry to bring that up for you.
And thank you. Yeah, it's probably one of my toxic traits of why are you still holding on to like high school trauma? But I was like first runner up, homecoming queen.
Oh, that's so close.
It's very
I
close.
Understand.
I really thought that they were going to call my name. I put me in all of the. So here's the thing. I struck with one of my good friends, Julian. I'll say he was the leader of my my homecoming. What is it? My campaign. All of the other cool kids band together to get behind me, another cool kid. And we were all of the artists. They were like drawing like what's this thing called? Like when you walked into the cafeteria, there was this huge like one of the artists banner, like a banner of me with my Zulu knot to my hand stretched out. They were like, it was stuff all over the school of drawings, like with my face on Missy's body, like I'm, you know, vote for Ife, she's super duper fly. It was a head. My head was on Aaliyah's body, like you know, she's 1 in a million. I was on
wow.
The Will Smith's body for Men in Black. You know, I make this look cool. What's the difference between me and you? I mean, the other cool kids came together and we cool kid that shit to where it parlayed other cool kid all the way up to cool kid status. But the cool kids they weren't going for that shit. So they were like, wait a minute and wait.
where it is. Because you know we're like from Atlanta. They're like real cool kids.
Wait.
All that drawing is not cool. You need to just walk around and pass out lollipops.
Right. So they, you know, they had spent their whole professional high school careers being cool, and I just was like othering it. And so it's okay. I tip my hat. But yeah, because of all of my theater stuff, I won some superlatives and most unique and all that jazz. So, you know, it was almost like Bezos almost making it to space, but just kind of hitting that rim of, you know, what is it called, you know, like right before the hemisphere.
Oh, the atmosphere.
The atmosphere. One of those. I just made it right there, you know, but then we had to come on back down. So
fell down to earth, get back, you other cool kid. But if you think about it, we grew up in the 90s. 90s, 2000s. And I mean, like, judging from everything we watched, you should have won. Like, it should have been like, this is your chance. Like, where you take
Yes,
off your
if this
glasses and look gorgeous.
right. Unravel my Zulu knots and like shake out my like, Lauryn Hill long locks and stuff.
Yeah.
They were
But
faux Zulu locks. Yeah, but this definitely
oh, nice.
was not a 80s film.
Well, rest in peace to those. If only life could be that way. Like, man, she's so ugly. Do you want to date that girl? Just look at her. And she's actually pretty with glasses. Then she takes it off and she takes off the glasses one day, like, hold on, I'm not ready yet. My glasses fell off. And she looks up and she's Kim Kardashian. And I was like,
Right.
I'm in love with you. That's what I imagined high school would be. Like, I thought I would drop a book and a guy helps me pick it up at the same time. And we're like, oh, hi, thanks. And anyway, that never happened. But
that actually, like, I think that probably happened to me, but because it was real life, I like nerded out. I was like, thank you. He was like, oh, okay, and like walks away.
All right, bye. And then 20 years later, I had a crush on you. I really like, damn you. The rules of engagement, I couldn't relate to a other cool kid.
Right.
As the football team leader.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to date me now that I have a pot belly? Okay. So we're going to play a game. We are creating our own school where we are sure the cool kids are like Beyonce and JC. They're the homecoming king and queen. But we want to know who are the other cool kids. Who are the people in your other cool kid, your celebrity other cool kids at our famous people school?
I would say the other cool kid, the first person that pops in my mind, I don't know why, would be a Lakeith Stanfield. I feel like he would definitely be a part of that other cool kid crew who's like artsy and like mysterious. He's cute. So all the girls are like, oh, I kind of like him. He's like always doodling in his little, notebook or something that he carries around and probably writes poetry and raps and stuff for whoever. I don't know about his troubled life. And you're just kind of hoping that maybe he's got a rap or a song or a doodle for you or something. But yeah, I feel definitely for sure Lakeith Stanfield will be another cool kid. And then I also want to throw in there Janelle Monáe. I feel like she not, Janelle Monáe probably before suit wearing Janelle Monáe. So, during that time, I don't know what she probably wore in high school, but I could see her being like that kind of awkwardy girl who's like, I'm really talented. I'm really talented,
Right.
And she's like in theater.
Then she shines. Then she finally shines at the pep rally.
Right.
She's like, oh, see, everybody's like, oh my God, she is talented. Yeah.
And she has a crush on Beyonce, which is the homecoming queen.
Right.
And it becomes all really awkward. So but yeah, those two I would definitely say the other cool kids.
Yeah, I would say definitely the king of the cool kids would be Andre 3000.
Yes,
like his amount of talent and like I don't give a fuckness is just like epitome of cool kid. And who else? So kind of the whole Dungeon family.
Yeah,
I think like definitely CeeLo Green, like, hey everybody, let's go outside and rap in a circle. And then like he will sing like woo, like just like extra talent, culture creators wearing like turbans to school, the grandma turban, old school. Shout out to old school Andre 3000, and then like the fuzzy clothes or whatever. So those would be our cool kids. Who else? I
would say maybe I'm trying to think of like comedians, like people who say really witty and funny stuff. I don't know whether you like them or not. I know it's very controversial, but I feel like Dave Chappelle probably would have been one of those kids that you probably couldn't really joan on. Like folks like, messed around and found out like tried to joan on him because he probably looked real skinny and stuff. And
looks and sounds hilarious. He's like, hey, I'm like, oh, weird ass boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then you joan on him and he like lights into you. Everybody's like, oh shit.
Ooh, right. Let's get that boy.
Right. Like, you got jokes, man. Okay. and they like
Yeah,
stop
he
messing with
probably
him
would
after
have.
that.
Right, he probably would have been inducted into the cool kid um realm, reached that
Right.
stratosphere. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think um what's the the comedian that got slapped would be another
I
Chris
was
Rock.
just thinking about him.
Chris Rock.
I can see that. I can see his awkward looking
Like, I'm making all
face.
A's, but y'all can't do shit. Anybody's like, yeah, Chris Rock. I'm the
Right.
valedictorian. Um,
Right. And because he's like, he came out and said that he's somewhere on the spectrum of autistic, or
really?
is it
Oh, I think I do remember
Asperger's?
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he
really?
doesn't recognize social cues really well. He said it in one of his comedy specials. So
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
feel like
that's
I heard
probably
that.
one of the reasons why he kind of waited until Will Smith got super close on him to. I don't think he even knew it was going to be a slap until he got slapped. And he was like, oh, I got slapped. So I think definitely he would have been those kids if it was an 80 movies that got stuffed in a locker and stuff. I just feel like he would have been
Mm-hmm.
bullied for just saying some super funny, witty, but like insulting
Beat
type
up.
of stuff that gets you,
Yeah,
yeah, to get you like in
definitely.
fights. Yeah, I feel like I just see
Yeah.
fight all over his
Yeah,
being.
like getting beat up every day. And I think, but ironically, like Will Smith would be the cool kid, but his
He
children would be
would.
the other cool kids.
Oh,
Yeah, but those
I,
random actors like, father, I'm going to like, why? What country? What? Okay, so Jaden Smith,
from space. No, they
he-
wouldn't even
they're
be other cool kids. They would just be
they like
aliens from space.
they would be actually, yeah, they would not be other cool kids. They would be kind of in the nerdy crew, but you don't mess with them. Like I think they would create their own language, like Kiko pop beep bop bop beep bop beep. You're like, what are they doing? It's our own language. Get out of here. Beep bop bop beep beep bop beep. And he's like,
I
cool,
see that,
fine,
right?
fine.
I feel like they would be like the rich cousins of somebody that came to like spend some time in what a public black school is
Yeah,
like for like
they
a
just moved
day.
there from Europe.
Right?
In Deutschland, we say.
Like, why does the water taste so bad in here? You think maybe I'll just bring everybody some fresh water from my well in my backyard tomorrow, Fresh Springs. We have a
Then the
waterfall in
teacher's
our
like,
backyard.
and then they're like, that's not sanitary, but I drink from it every day and I'm okay. Then the teacher's like, you can't do that, son. Well, yeah, fun, little
But the
rich. It must be
enzymes in the
great.
water, right?
Right.
I mean, I can't
Right.
grow eyebrows, but
Can't grow eyebrows. Right.
but I'm gonna
But
live
he's
till I'm
another,
200.
right. He's he's another one of those little nerds that would like really surprise everybody at the pep rally. Like, where's Icon living? Icon living. Everybody's like, oh my God, that little weird
Yeah,
ass
Larry. Yes.
nerd boy. Rapping his ass off. What is Icon
Rapping.
living? But that's the thing.
Right.
Like cool kids always let you know that you're still weird. Like, man, that weird ass boy, good man. Man, you weird ass, be good. It's like, can you just say I'm cool?
Right. Ooh, I forget who we were talking about yesterday. We're talking about with a fellow person that I went to high school with, and we're talking about a particular individual that was just a part of our crew and was just dance a beat. Was it a beat of his own drum or something like that? And I don't know. I don't know if this is, but anyway, in African American schools, we usually kind of love on folks that are a little different, and we check in on with them, like, you okay, man? You good? And that way, the small check-ins kind of help from people coming back and like, I don't know,
Shooting up the school.
shooting up the
Yeah.
school.
That's one thing.
Gotta
Black
check
folk
in with your
like,
brothers and your sisters.
yeah, like
We've
we
been doing
always
that.
knew. Yeah. And like that's one thing we know, like I think as Black people, like who you can joan on and who like, no, you need to chill because he'll kick your ass. Like
Yeah,
he's crazy. I mean, he won't say
gonna
crazy, he
stab
just a little
you.
touched.
Right.
He's like, he a little touched. Like, man, y'all don't be laughing at that boy. You might wake up like that one day. For real. That's the thing. It's always like, you might wake up like that.
That
Like,
is
yeah,
so
you right. You right.
interesting. Yeah, it's
It's interesting, right?
that intuition that we just naturally have. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna mess with that person right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Mm.
That's good.
In the words of oh, I can think of not Jaden, the sister.
Willow.
Yes, Willow. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Mm.
Yes. I feel rich again, speaking just like her.
Yes.
So, okay, so now we're here. We know, if you know me, you know who the cool kids are. You're one of the cool kids just by being here with us. Um, do y'all know what like a mug means?
Good
Like,
one.
we're from Atlanta, so we just if you use a phrase like a mug. No, did you say like a mug? No, you said
Yeah,
joning on
yeah.
somebody. Yeah. So we just like we say it. So a mug, like a mug, it derives from the phrase like a motherfucker.
Mm.
And it's just a modifier. It's something that Black people use, usually old men like crazy like a motherfucker. But of course, kids are not allowed to say motherfucker. So we say mug. And the interesting thing is a mug can be a lot of different things. So a mug can be a noun because you can say that mug is crazy. It can be an adjective. She crazy like a mug. This podcast is dope like a mug. It can be you can use it very many times in one sentence. So you say that mug will run it like a mug. See, you just used it twice and it just meant two different things.
Man, I feel so enlightened right now. You're definitely a
Yeah.
teacher. Have you won Teacher of
I
the Year
am a
yet?
teacher. Not yet.
Well,
I
those
work at a
folks are
newfangled
ah
school where we don't have favorites. It's various school like where we all work together. There's no best or no worst. It's one of those schools.
kind of a
Oh,
little free
but
spirited, a little hippie like a
it,
mug.
it's literally a school that's hippie and granola like a mug. So no, but I am a teacher. I will be teaching my children the etymology of like a mug. They're all first graders, but they'll understand
Come
like a
on,
mug.
etymology. Etymology.
Etymology,
Come
probably
on,
that, not
etymology.
etymology. We smart, smart like a mug.
You know what? People don't I don't think I have a southern accent until I go somewhere to New
Mm,
York. When I go far up north, then it's like
mhm.
they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so cute." Like your little southern accent. I'm like, "Really?
What? Right.
What?"
Because down here, they's like, you proper. Do you remember that growing up? Why y'all
Yeah.
talk proper? Why y'all talk proper? Like, I don't know.
Right.
But I know that I have a southern accent when I use speech to text. Siri always thinks that I said something else. So like when I say y'all, it spells it YAWL, like y'all. I'm like, y'all. Oh, I guess I do sound like I'm saying that. So there's other words, and I'm like, oh, I should have spoken like a valley girl because it does not, it just does not compute. Siri's like, girl, I don't know what you're saying.
Mm-mm-mm.
So yeah.
Siri needs
All
a more
right.
AI to help her out.
You know what? I think that there should be a southern version of Siri that can pick up more accents, man.
I
At
think
least some
so.
black accents. Come on. I
Right,
mean,
right,
not
right.
saying all black people talk like us, but black people talk like us. Oh man. We have come to a segment of our show called Cool Like a Mug, Lame Like a Mug, where Ife and I talk about the week about what was cool like a mug and what was lame like a mug. What you got, Ife?
Cool like a mug. Since we're in these summer months of 2023, I'm gonna say Juneteenth was all the way blackety black for me
Mm-hmm.
this year, and it just gonna keep getting even blacker. I have a wonderful recipe book called The Welcome Table. I don't know who's written it, but shout out to whoever wrote The Welcome Table. And it
Mhm.
breaks down all of the foods or like the menus when you're planning like events or parties for Black celebrations. And so I have a Juneteenth. I've been waiting to use, I bought this book like maybe 10 years ago. I've been waiting to, now that Juneteenth has real significance, to break this book out and just, do some little home party. So yay, Juneteenth. And
Yay.
that is cool like a mug. I will also say, I want to throw out there Arrested Development is cool like a mug. I've heard recently one of the lead members on Speech on
Oh yeah,
NPR.
speech. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, man, they were just ahead of their time. And so they just really were so conscious. They made us think about like homelessness and freedom. And I used to like Mr. Wendell, the song, just, I don't know, it would just make me get quiet and listen in a little bit, and learn the story of this homeless man of,
Yes.
have a dollar, no, have two, it means so
No, no,
much.
no, no, not no have to. In fact, no, brother man, have to. It's like the fact that he called this man brother man. It's like that's right. This man is probably pissy and smells like alcohol. But he said, in fact, no, brother man, have
Have
to.
two.
It was so touching. I don't know what it was about the 90s and homelessness.
Yes,
We cared so much about homeless people,
that was a
like
topic.
that. She's homeless. She like I can't imagine partying and everybody's like, she's homeless. Hey, she's homeless.
Right.
Like,
But that beat, the way the beat would drop though, and that lot of da was like, you couldn't help,
yeah.
out here singing for money.
Da,
Like,
da, dee, da, da,
that was
da.
like that was the like the hottest part of the song. But yeah, man, consciousness
Yeah.
of Arrested Development. So shout out to them. And then I would say lame like a mug. Lame like a mug for me would be this lab grown meat that they have out on the market. I just want to
Mm.
say this whole like I know there's a conspiracy theory about veganism and like all this unmeat and unfish and
Mm-hmm,
all of
mm-hmm.
that jazz. I just feel like, hey, if you're gonna go plant based, just eat plants, man. Just eat like fruits and vegetables and stuff.
Right.
You don't have to get like bleeding fake chicken or it's beet juice that makes it bleed. And like if you really want meat that
Oh
bad,
my gosh.
just eat meat.
So wait,
But
so what do you mean this bleeding meat? What, like they sell meat that looks like it's
yeah.
bleeding?
Yeah. So for people who want to do cookouts and they want to have they want to have the experience of eating fake meat where when you put it on the grill, it has a little bloody look to it. They've got like vegan meat patties that have kind of like a little bloody look to it. So it's like, oh man, I'm eating
Ugh.
real meat, but it's unmeat. I don't, you never know what they're putting in it. But because people have kind of been uh introduced to this whole like not eating meat or eating
Mm-hmm.
these fake processed meats, then I think the next step would be eating lab grown meat and being totally fine with that. So, but that was snuck. That's something that's fresh on the market is lab grown meat. And so anyway, it's kind of lame like a mug. I just think people should I don't know. I think you should go to
Just eat meat
Africa.
or not.
I
Just
think you should
don't
buy a
eat it.
ticket to the motherland, and those
Yeah.
animals over there are not stressed out. They're free. They have lives and families. They're
Mm-hmm.
walking around, and you can just eat fresh, organic, true organic meat when you travel to Africa. So go back to Africa, y'all. That was my whole point.
Absolutely. Go back to Africa, y'all,
It's
says
easy. Just get you a ticket to Africa.
African gal, right? Just do it.
Right.
Just do it. I love it. I've not made my trek yet. So I like to believe I'm African adjacent. I'm what a lot of people call RB, also known as regular black. So
Nice.
and that's saying that my family, as far back as I can trace, is American until, of course, obviously Africa. So that would be great. I've heard a lot of great things about going back to Africa, and they be like, man, when you go there, you just like, it's just a feeling, man. It's just a great feeling. I'm like, I would love it. I mean, I feel like Atlanta is Africa. Like Atlanta is like Africa. It's black people everywhere. And
True.
so growing up in Atlanta, I thought that black people were everywhere. And
Right.
my grandmother lived in, so my mom grew up in California. And so my grandmother lived out there for a while. Then she moved here after my granddad passed away. And she kept saying, it's a black doctor over there. They black over there. Black. And I was like, yeah, because I don't know life without black people.
True.
So say, it's like Africa over here. So honestly, I don't know life without a multitude of blackness. So that perspective is interesting, but I would love to visit the homeland. That was my accent, African accent. Thank you, everybody. But I'm
It's waiting for you. It's waiting for you, Shannon.
Yes. And I also feel like I am African adjacent because I teach and I do West African dance. So no, I just feel a connection on the dance floor. But I've heard that when you go, it don't matter how much of a connection you feel or how many African traditional religions you are, you need to take that pill. Like somebody's like the what's the pill? The malaria pill.
Oh,
Yeah. I know somebody that was like, yeah, we were because natural black people be like, we're just gonna like eat some ginger and swallow some stones. And they were like, yeah, this little girl got malaria. And no, and she survived, but
yeah. I always, and this is hilarious, but sometimes I liken Nigeria to the board game Jumanji because that's my code word for it. I call it Jumanji because you just don't know. Like you get there and it'd be like, mosquitoes, killer mosquitoes that can kill you that are carrying malaria. So you just got to make sure that you take your malaria pills every day. Make sure that you're not drinking anything, any type of like water from off the street food. Yeah, man, it's just, you never know what you may
not
encounter.
even street food.
Yeah, because it's I mean, you can enjoy it, but just, make sure that you carry all of your little survival, if you have like tummy issues, like survival kit, like Tums and all this other stuff, because you just never know how your, westernized stomach will take the food and all of its deliciousness, but it's made with all of the waters and stuff and everything over there. So you just never know. You never know.
Right.
And it's a different level of, it's there's nothing, I mean, they have like, what do you call those things where the restaurants, what's it like approved? I feel like I'm just going down
international approved something.
What I'm saying is like for all the people who are like travelers and adventurers,
right.
Take all your medicines with you because that's real. You don't want to get caught out there and then like
man,
you have your body flown back to America.
Yeah, right. Arrive alive.
Right.
If you haven't learned anything on this podcast today, arrive alive like a mug.
Alive. And no dead mermaids.
No dead
if you watch that mermaid special on Netflix, no dead mermaids.
Let me tell you, that mermaid special, I was hooked for all of those episodes.
Yeah.
Little bit wanted to be a mermaid after watching it. I was like, no, I don't. So it's just one of those things, but I love it, man. It's fascinating. And they're kind of like another subgroup, kind of reminds me of the other cool kids. Are you like, we have this own thing going on?
Right.
I did feel like the language annoyed me, like, shallow. What the shell is going on up in this fish? Like,
that's my sister.
It's like, oh gosh,
we get it.
Holy moly, man.
Bless it. Yeah.
So yes, so cool like a mug, lame like a mug. For this week, so I have to say the cool like a mug and lame like a mug are kind of related. My cool like a mug is shout out to Slow Burn, which is a really good podcast, informative podcast. And I listened to one about Clarence Uncle Ruckus Thomas. And he entered, like, it was such an I'm looking at your reaction about Clarence Uncle Ruckus Thomas, because he does look like Uncle Ruckus.
He does, yeah.
But no, so like this podcast is basically how he went from Clarence Thomas to Clarence Uncle Ruckus Thomas. So like he like, it's just, I didn't know much about him because, again, I grew up in the 90s, but I was like more of a kid in the 90s. I wasn't really like happening until the 2000s. So I remember hearing his name, but not hearing things other than like, he sucks. So it just follows his, well, it just talks about his life and how he started. And I found it so interesting that he used to be like down, like he was like a black nationalist. Like seriously, he kept a Malcolm X poster on his wall, like and he felt like black men shouldn't marry white women, just like literally. And one of the interesting things that one of the commentators said is that if you can have an experience that can move you so far left, then you can definitely have an experience that moves you that far right. And that basically is like, without going into too much extra detail, that's like what happened to him. He basically just got jaded with the whole capitalism and wanting to prove himself as a black man. Um, and like he felt a way about affirmative action because he wanted to be accepted for, being intelligent, and he kind of always had this kind of chip on his shoulder. But I don't know, it's just really interesting. So I look at him in a new light. I mean, still fuck him, but like it's interesting knowing how we got to this place.
It's like
Am I lame? Like,
it's
yeah,
like
go ahead.
the villain story. It
Mhm.
was like the story of the
It's
Joker,
the
or the
villain
story of
story,
like,
right?
yeah, how the villain, creation story was.
Absolutely. Right. He's not just a pubic hair guy. He was just this awkward little weird guy. And I like the whole pubic hair thing. Like I didn't know that whole thing, but I think that was him trying to sound cool, be like, who put this pubic hair on there? Like that's something nerds do. Like,
It's a
like,
terrible
yeah,
joke.
that's a terrible
Terrible.
joke.
I would love to hear. I need to go back and read because I also was a kid too, and all I remember was the pube on the Coke can and being like, "Ew," like what is that about? But I'm just trying to
Right.
think of, with the whole sexual harassment thing.
Mhm.
Why would you? So I'm like, isn't the point of sexual harassment to kind of make the person try to be, attracted to you? Why would you say something like that? Like, were you trying to disgust her? Like, or are you trying to
I
like
think
segue into something sexy by like what sexy adjacent, like saying something that's close to like
right.
pube
So
hairs?
I think in his
Terrible.
defense, and I can't believe I'm speaking in his damn defense. I think that when you're nerdy and you don't know what to say, so you're like, yeah, well, pubic hair. Who put pubic hair here? I really think it was one of those moments.
Oh, I
And
get
the
it. You
fact,
know what? I
right.
get it
I,
now.
I
I
think
get
it
it
was
now.
that. You see, once you put it
Boys
in
and
that context, it's like,
girls.
oh, loser. Because he really was like, he was insecure and like he was in love with this black woman. And she was like, I think she broke up with him. She said, actually, I think he probably is still in love with me, but I would never take him back. It's a whole, like, it's so complex, his
He was
life
married
and
at
the
the
way it
time,
is.
wasn't he? Because he was
He
married
was
at the
married to a
time.
black woman before, and now he's married to a white devil. Like, and I mean, like, this lady, she's a real white devil. This lady is like a devil. Like,
Ooh.
she's a horrible white woman.
Maybe he's been like sunk in play. He's maybe that's who Get
I
Out is
think
based.
I
It's
think
true
it's
story. It's the
real.
Clarence Thomas story. It's sunk. It's the
It's the
Get Out.
you know
Yeah,
what? Yeah.
because he
So
like
my
because the
lame like a
extreme.
mug. Exactly. So that's my lame like a mug. This whole affirmative action, um striking down of the affirmative action is like, really. And I think what's even more lame like a mug is that, so I was watching this video where this woman explained, so a black woman explained so eloquently about how all these other minorities got um affirmative action, not affirmative action, I'm sorry, got reparations for, like the Holocaust people, the Asian people got like, but they had to fight for it, blah blah blah, and black people have not gotten it. So of course, everyone has comments and people are like, well, that's right, well, they shouldn't, blah blah blah. And it's like, I get frustrated when we say we need affirmative action, and somebody, especially non-black people, when they say, well, everyone has suffered. And it's like, no, but it's a different kind. Like, I get annoyed when people tell black people that we don't have a right to want to be compensated for what our ancestors endured, But then when they're at a Holocaust museum, they're like, oh my God, yeah, never forget. This is so sad. Oh, the Battle of Hiroshima, or the whole series. Oh, it's so sad. It was so with us. Come on, get over it.
Right. Yeah.
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 And I
That is
think
such a
they see that how magical and great we are and how we can do so much stuff. And they're like, oh, you're okay. You're fine. Look at Clarence Thomas. We're like, no, no. So it's just it's raggedy, the whole affirmative action thing, and we need reparations. Because today's 4th of
yeah.
July, it's not a real holiday anyway. So
You know what?
but
White people,
no.
say goodbye to your cool Black friends because they're gone.
Right.
Okay, you've
There.
your little person that you can kind of like feel cool with, or maybe have like a tie to the Black, the hood, because the Black kid that you're going to school with is not probably 95% from the hood, but maybe some of his
Right.
cousins are. So you were like
Mhm.
close to the hood, like 7 degrees of separations from the hood. But
Right.
now you're not even gonna have him because hey, took away affirmative action. So it's just gonna be just more of you sitting
Mhm.
around campfires and bonfires singing folk songs.
Right. But my answer is and always will be HBCUs. I come from a long line of HBCU grads, and I attended Dillard University in New Orleans. And it's great, man. HBCUs are where it's at. It's a beautiful culture, and they care about you. So it's one of those things that everybody's like, well, fine. If they don't want to work hard for us, then don't send our athletes, which is a thing. They're like, we'll take your
Yeah.
big handsome, your big bucks to play football for us. But
Yeah,
anyway,
always
you
good
know,
to like I think that's the thing that is kind of, bothers you is like it's all right if we're like entertainers and we're like, playing the
right,
sports and singing and dancing and selling drugs or I don't know, whatever people think that Black people do, but like but not good enough to really sit next to you and or we're taking up space or we're taking up somebody's opportunity, that's just kind of like, I don't know, it kind of makes me think
right.
of that whole poverty mindset or lack mindset. It's not enough to go
Mm-hmm.
around, it's not enough. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
instead of a kid who's not able to go to Harvard, instead of them just kind of like what minorities have to do anyway, which is buckle up their bootstraps and still make it and still get into workspaces regardless of what school
Mm-hmm.
they get into. It's a complaint and it's like, oh, you're not letting me do whatever, or I'm not, someone's stealing my chance. It's like nobody can steal what is you really want in life. If you really want it, go
Right.
get it. That's what
Right.
everybody in America is doing. And so
Right. And
that's what a
they're
lot of
acting
minorities are
like,
doing. And it's like,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I don't know.
mm-hmm.
It's a sore spot. I really feel for younger generations. I don't have any kids. I'm an auntie. I'm a proud auntie, but it just makes me think of like my little nieces and nephews, having to really, 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 I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they just have to go to the best schools and just kind of put it out there. Hopefully, they'll get into the school of their
Right.
choice. Yeah.
Right. And then they're acting like, oh, by letting in these Black people that they're just like there's the school Harvard is not going to let in a kid who barely went to school, but
Right.
because they're Black, like, I want to go to school. All right, cool, come on in, you're Black. Like, they're not going to do that. You still have to achieve very high. And
Yeah.
that's the thing about Clarence Uncle Ruckus. He is a product of affirmative action. He was very intelligent, but he got all that because he did well, because they would have been looking over him if they weren't trying to have more diversity. So I think that's very lame like a mug.
Right. Right.
Um and while we're on the subject, last thing about this 4th of July, a lot of the cultural people say 4th of July. Um
Hella days. This is a hella day.
heard that. Happy holiday. 4th of July. I think I'm advocating next year for Juneteenth to have some fireworks, because I want to see some fireworks, and
Mm.
I'm gonna be a sellout if I go to this 4th of July thing, because I want to see the fireworks. But like, how do I do this? How do I navigate wanting to see the fireworks, but then having to walk through a sea of like red, white, and blue? And I'm like, I just want to see the fireworks. Like, I'm like, should I wear a June t-shirt, or like, should I like walk through the parking lot with like my fist high, like, for this holiday, I just want to see the fireworks. Like, what do you do? I think the best 4th of July celebration I went to was in East Point. East Point, Georgia, for people that are not from here, is a very Black neighborhood. Well, it's a very Black neighborhood, but it's getting a little salt in the pepper. But they had this soulful it was like a outdoor, like a little block party-ish thing. And they had performers. Our good friend Robbie performed and all this stuff. And it was, and they played, it was just such a Black time. And everybody, it was 4th of July, but you could tell everybody was there for the vendors and for watching the people dance. And so they could dance along. The right foot just stomp and left foot just, it was just like a Black ass time. Nobody wore red, white, and blue. Nobody had flags, but we were there for the fireworks and for the show. And it felt very affirming to be there with a bunch of people like, we know that our ancestors were still enslaved during this holiday. We're just here for the fireworks and the food.
That is hilarious because I live in the East Point area, and I follow the East Point Facebook, and East Point, they have also like a monthly Wednesday wind down event where they, I don't know how they got this connection to all these like stars, but they had like the last one had like Silk and all of these like R&B legends. One time they had Big Boy from Outkast come out. So I mean, they do
that's where they're
thing.
from.
Very true. But anyway, in the Facebook chat with all of our friends who've moved into the neighborhood, they're like, oh, this is how I imagine they're sounding as they're typing. Like, I mean, it's nice to hear, you know, R&B, but I mean, are there other genres? I'm like,
do you know
you
what neighborhood you moved into?
Chiming in, right? It'll be good to hear some folk music. And another person, it'll be good to hear some classic rock sometime. And then, you know, there was an ally that was like, hey guys, you know, we've, you know, spent our entire lives having to, you know, having the being forward facing and front facing and having our music being played at outdoor festivals. It's okay to allow, you know, other music genres to be played.
And let's just go to Midtown and do it. Because Midtown is still for us.
Anywhere else, and you can hear folk and classic rock and all of that. And
let me just say, shout out to the allies and the people that are just
out to the allies.
Have the wherewithal to know, like, let me, you know what, we tripping. I love it.
I love them too. I love the you know, the people who really, you know, listen in on the diversity, equity, inclusion trainings at work. When you like really for real be like listening in and like and learning from your own mistakes and others' mistakes. You know, shout out to those allies, because that makes me feel like progress is happening, because we all have to look at ourselves and look deep within and figure out why certain things bother us, like why you can hear R&B music, you know, in your front yard, and like, why does that bother you? Just close the windows, ma'am, and turn up some hard rock in your house. Like, you don't have to shut a whole festival or, you know, outdoor event because you don't want to hear any more R&B music.
Like, yes.
I will, you know, sometimes, you know, I like to hear the when I go to the July 4th festivals, is the person singing "I'm proud to be an American," you know, and that like soulful, like, I'm proud to be an American because I need no free. You're like, man,
what is that rapper? I mean, that rock and roll voice.
It's not like it's not on any note.
It's like it's a growl, like you have to like curl your. Right. What's that thing in the back of your? It's like I feel it curl into a C so I can hit that. And I think that Michael McDonald was supposed to sing that way, but he was like, no, I like soul.
Right.
So he's like, But he could very easily go,
It's
I'm proud to be an American.
he also danced. He was a little. He had that little soulful white soul sound on it.
Yeah.
You're like, what is that? Like, he's not saying any word. It's like
Tell me I'm fooling.
it's a breathy sound. We're not wide open.
Yes, well, arms wide
Free. Come on now.
open. Why
Like,
can't he say open?
well,
Arms wide
wide
open.
open.
Oh yeah, oh, wow. Like they, but like those are the voices of like they are rock and roll, and they're not. It's just like a voice. I don't know what is a little foghorn, leghorn mixed with like rock and roll. I love it. Like I still
Yeah.
enjoy Michael McDonald, man.
Love it. Love him. Love him. Yeah.
Yamo be there. We have come to the end of our show, which means it's time for the 2-minute wrap up where we recap this mug in 2 minutes. Ife and I each get 1 minute to recap the show, but I mean, we're not going to just recap in true other cool kids fashion. We won't recap just anyway. We are doing it musical style.
All right.
That is such an other cool kid thing to do. And every time we get ready to do this, I'm like, why did we say we should do this? You'll hear why. And the answer is actually because we're artists and we don't want to box ourselves in. So we allow fate and we use this app called spinthewheel.app as our to seal our fate. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to spin it.
I'm excited.
Spinning. Oh, wow. What does that say? Alternative. So not only are we gonna improvise this recap, but we don't have no music. We are going to use our voices to give you some music. Ife is a singer, so she's gonna go first.
Right.
All right.
Alternative. Oh my goodness. I love alternative music. That's that was when it was more stuff on the radio other than hip hop and stuff. It had a little alternative.
So I'm sorry. Alternative. Is that like rock? Or is there a different
like
version?
Remember back in the day when people used to wear, when our friends used to wear plaid shirts like Nirvana, and they would wear the plaid shirts and the jeans. It was like ripped, and I think music was a little depressing, just a little bit, but
so okay.
Like
very like
Pearl Jam-ish and Alanis Morissette.
Kind of that same voice.
Yeah,
wow.
Okay. Yeah, a little sad. Like,
I got it. Got it. Okay.
Grunge. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Ding 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 gang gang gang. Oh, what to do when you're sitting kind of blue, when you're the other cool kid without nowhere to live. You're kind of looking like a Mr. Window, asking for $1 or $2. Yeah. Tell me, what do you do? What do you do when you're not cool? When you're kind of other? When you just a lover of life, but you are black and they won't let you into the university. University. Thank you.
That was amazing. I heard a little Alanis Morissette. I love it. I keep going to university. You gotta say it. Okay, it's catchy.
Thank you.
I love it. I had a lighter in the air. It was I felt it. I felt that one.
Yes.
Oh,
Only 1
you
minute.
know,
Only 1 minute. So much
yeah,
content.
okay.
So much rich content. Go
So
for it.
much rich content. Okay, here we go. Um, ew. Okay, wait, let me get me. I'm trying to channel my inner. Oh, the bring. Yeah, you know this song is all for the other cool kids. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. You know the other cool kids. They go and do funny dances and crazy songs. Boom, 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 might live under a bridge somewhere.